Hello friends, good morning you all. So today we will start the computer organization and architecture. Okay, it's a good subject for both for the computer science as well as for the EC. Okay, because if you will go for the interview, then definitely they will ask you from the question that definitely they will ask you the question from the COA because it will give you the working of the computer. It will give you the whole working of the computer, means how computer fetch or processor fetch the instruction and data from the memory and how it will execute that, like that. Okay, so good morning you all, good morning. So come fast, we are going to start today about computer organization and architecture. It's a good subject for both, for the computer science as well as for the electronics student also. Good morning Prerna, good morning you all. So now I am going to start what computer organization and architecture. And okay, so from the name you can understand it's a combination of two subjects. From the name you can understand it's a combination of two subjects. First one is what? First one is computer architecture and second one is what? Computer organization. So the very first question, the very natural question which can come in our mind is what? What is the difference between computer architecture and computer organization? They can ask you in the interview what is the difference, what is the basic difference in computer architecture and in computer organization. Good morning Himanshu, good morning Suresh. So it's a combination of two subjects. From the name you can understand it's a combination of two subjects. First one is what? Computer architecture, and second one is what? Computer organization. Computer organization. So the very natural question which can come in our mind is what? As I told you, what is the difference between computer architecture and computer organization? Okay, so now I am going to tell you the basic difference between computer architecture and computer organization. Okay, so suppose I am giving you example. Suppose we have bricks and cements like this. Okay, suppose we have bricks and cement and we make a structure, we make a structure of the building through the cement and bricks. What we can do, we can make a structure, we can make a architecture of the building. But when we need to make that architecture as a living purpose, जब हमें उसको रहने लायक बनाना है, so we need to organize the things, we need to organize the things. After the organization, the building or structure you can make for the living purpose. Understanding? अगर हमारे पास ईंटें हैं और सीमेंट है, लाइक सब मटेरियल है, तो हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं? बिल्डिंग का स्ट्रक्चर बना के खड़ा कर सकते हैं. लेकिन अगर हम उसको रहने लायक बनाना है, उसको रहने लायक बनाना है, ओके, फॉर द लिविंग पर्पस, देन वी नीड टू ऑर्गेनाइज द थिंग्स. So like this I am going to tell, this is an example, this is an example. So like this I am going to tell you the basic difference between computer architecture and computer organization. Understanding you all? So so the very first difference between computer architecture and computer organization is that, listen me carefully, then I will give you the concept here also. Okay, so the very first difference is what? Suppose we have the hardware components, suppose we have the hardware components. So in computer architecture we need to connect those hardware components to form a computer system. Very simple, to form a computer system. Okay, so computer architecture will do what? Computer architecture totally concerned with the way how we can connect the hardware components to form a computer system. Very simple, very simple way. Write down it. First different. Computer architecture concerned concerned with the way through which through which we can connect hardware components to make a computer system. Okay, this is all about the computer architecture. Okay, good morning, Kaushal. And here, what computer organization will do? Okay, so computer organization concerned with the structural and behavioral structure. Computer organization concerned with the structure and behavior of the computer system which actually user want to see. जो यूजर सही में देखना चाहता है उसको ये ऑर्गेनाइज करता है. ठीक है, so write down here first difference. Computer organization concerned with structural and behavior structure. Write down structural, not structural. Concerned with the structure and behavior of the computer system of the computer which actually user want to see, which actually user want to see, which actually user want to see. Okay, so can I rub this one? I will give you one by one point and we will discuss the computer organization in very interesting way in sequential manner. Okay, so can I rub this one? Very first, this is the very first difference. Reply me fast. So the second difference is what? Second difference is what? Very simple. Computer organization tells you, computer architecture tells you what computer can does. What computer can does. These are the very important differences. They can ask you in the interview. Okay, and they can also give you the basic question from here. Okay, second point, write down the second difference. Computer architecture tells you what computer can does. What computer can does or do. What computer can does. This thing will tell you what computer architecture. But how it can does. But how we can organize the things. How it can does. This will tell you what computer organization. So second difference is what? Computer organization tells you how computer can does. How computer can does. How computer can does. This is the second difference. Okay. Third difference need to be write down. Third difference need to be write down. So computer architecture will give you what? Computer architecture will give you what? Behavioral functionalities. Will give you what? Behavioral functionalities. And it will give you what? A structure relationship. It will give you what? A structure relationship. Okay, so write down. Computer architecture will give you functional behavior and it will give you what? Structural behavior. It will give you structural behavior, or you can say the relationship. It will give you structural relationship. It will give you what? A structural relationship. So these are the three differences. I have one more difference. Okay. So these are the basic difference between computer architecture and computer organization. So can I rub this one? Reply me fast. So there is one more difference more. Write down the fourth difference. Computer architecture involves logic like instruction sets, addressing, registers like this. And organization involves physical components. Computer organization involves what? Physical components like adders, subtractors, circuit design like this. Okay, like this. So write down the fourth difference here. Computer architecture need to be remember these points, very important points. Computer architecture involves logic like instruction set, comma, registers, comma, addressing modes, etc. And this one, and computer organization involves computer organization involves physical components like what? Adders, circuit design, etc. Okay, so these are the very important difference which you need to remember in computer architecture and computer organization. So these are the basic four differences. Okay, understand you all? So now I can start the subject. This is the difference between computer architecture and computer organization, because computer organization and architecture combines two subjects. First one is what? Computer architecture, and second one is computer organization. Okay, understand you all? These are the basic differences. They can ask you in interview, they can ask you through the questions. So can I rub this one? Reply me fast. Very good. So now can anybody tell me the definition of computer? Not the 10th or 12th craft, that not I want to listen the definition which you of the 10th and 12th class. Okay, I want a proper definition of the computer, means professional definition of the computer. Can anybody tell me through the comment? Can anybody tell me what is the definition of computer? So I will give you the concept of the COA in very sequential manner, means how computer execute a program, how data stored in the memory, how processor will fetch instruction and data from the memory, what it need to do to execute the program in very sequential manner. I will give you the concept. This subject actually very boring. Okay, but I will make that subject to you interesting. Okay, I will make that subject to you interesting. Okay, so computer is what? Computer takes one form of data as a input and produce what? And you can say that and convert it into another form of data as a output under the control of program or data. Under the control of what? Program and data. This is the correct or professional definition of the computer. You can tell anywhere. So I am going to write down here. Computer takes one form of data as a input and converts it into another form of data as a output under the control of program. You can say that under the control of program. You can say that it data also, under the control of the program or data also, under the control the program and data also. So what we can, if we want to give the symbolic representation to the definition or whatever we written, okay, जो भी हमने यहाँ पे लिखा है, so it takes what? Input and gives you what? Output. Means gives you whatever it is taking, it will give you the output, okay, under the control of program, or you can say it what? Data. Whatever program you will give, it will take the control from there, okay, and convert the input into output. This is what computer. Understand you all? This is what computer. So now I want to ask you one more thing. So this is a ISRO question. What is the functionality of the computer? So can anybody tell me what is the functionality of the computer when it is converting one form of data into another form of data under the control of the program or data? So what is the functionality of the computer? The functionality of the computer is what? Execution of the program. Processing is the functionality of the processor. I am asking you, what is the functionality of the computer? Understand, Sally? So what is the functionality of the computer? Execution of the program. Okay. So can I rub this one? So write down the another point. Okay, during the conversion, yeah, you can say that like this. Functionality of the computer this is the ISRO question, okay. Exactly, I don't have the question, but they asked the question from this point. Functionality of the computer is execution of the program. Is what? Execution of the program. Understand? So this is all about the two concepts related to computer. So now I am moving on the program. What is program? Next topic. So as I told you, I will go in sequential manner, so you will understand each and every concept, okay. So what is program? So जो अभी तक आपको पता है, सिंपली आप हमें यही बताओगे, कलेक्शन ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस. आप क्या बताओगे? कलेक्शन ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस. प्रोग्राम इज व्हाट? कलेक्शन ऑफ instruction या set of instruction, but without data can this definition is complete. So now can you give me the definition of program now? So program is what? It is a set of instructions, or you can say that collection of instructions along with the data. Understand you all? This is the correct definition. This is a reference book definition. Along with the data. Okay, very good. Along with data. Okay, write down the definition. It is a set of instructions. It is a set of instruction, or you can say that what, collection of instructions along with data, along with data. So what we can say that program is what? So this is a symbolic representation. Program contains what? Instructions as well as along with data also. Okay. So understand, along with data. So can I wrap this one? Along without, suppose you are giving any statement like this, integer I equal to 5, then 5 is what here? 5 is a data. 5 is a data which you are allocating to a variable I. Okay, like that. Understand you all? So can I wrap this one? Very good. So can anybody tell me? Can anybody tell me what is instructions? What is instructions? So I am giving you the basics, because without basics, no need to go forward. Okay. Instructions. What is instruction? These basic terms they can ask you in interview, because I have faced the various time interview. So I face that types of problem. Okay. So I faced various times interview. So I know what types of topic they can ask you. Okay. Collection of tokens is what? Collection of tokens is what? Computer understand which types of language? Computer understand only binary language, 0 or 1. Okay. So give me a proper definition. Instruction is what? It is a binary sequence. It is a binary sequence which is designed. It is a binary sequence which is designed inside the processor. Which is designed what? Where? Inside the processor to perform any task or operation. This is the instruction. Like if you want to perform add. So there is a binary sequence of add in the processor. Okay. Suppose you want to perform what? Sub. So these are the instructions. Okay. So there is a binary sequence of sub inside the processor. Understand? 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 Very good. Understand? So instruction is what? Instruction is what? It is a binary sequence. It is a binary sequence which is designed inside the processor to perform any task or operation. This is the proper definition of instruction. They can ask you in the interview. Okay. So write down it. It is a binary sequence. It is a binary sequence which is designed, already designed in the processor, which is designed in the processor to perform any task or operation, to perform any task or operation. Okay, like what? Like you can say that like add, comma sum, comma sub. Okay, add, comma sub, etc. We have various instructions. You have various instructions. Okay, so like this instruction. So now I am going to move on. So this is all about the basic. So can anybody tell me Can anybody tell me if computer want to execute any program, then what are the three basic components that it will need during the execution of the program? Reply me fast. These are the basics. I think you know. Reply me fast. I am repeating again my question. Suppose computer is executing any program, then what are the three components that computer will need during the execution of the program? Reply me fast. वो कौन कौन से कंपोनेंट हैं जिनकी जरूरत पड़ेगी कंप्यूटर को? बेसिक कंपोनेंट्स, राइट? मेमोरी, वेरी गुड. So I am going to write down during the execution of the program. When computer executing any program, then it will need three basic components. Basic components, not ALU, not ALU, not ALU and not register, because these are the parts of the what? CPU. These are the parts of the CPU. Okay. I am talking about the computer. I am talking about the computer. Okay. ALU not. Sarma not ALU. ALU is the basic component of the CPU. Okay. So listen me carefully. What are the parts of the first one is what? First one is what? Processor. Or you can say that what? CPU. First one is what? CPU. Second one is what? Memory. And third one is what? IO devices. IO. Okay. ठीक है? Input output. Okay. So why we need CPU? For the processing. For the processing. We need CPU for the processing. Understand? We need CPU for the processing. What is the functionality of the CPU is what? Processing. Understand? What is the functionality of CPU is what? Processing. Okay. And memory, what is the functionality of memory? What is the functionality of memory? Storage. And what is the functionality of IO devices? What is the functionality of IO devices? Why we need IO devices? Input output devices. External communication. This is the right word. External communication. External communication. If you want any type of external communication, then we need what? IO devices. Then we need what? IO devices. Understand? During the execution of the program, if we need any external communication, then we can do that type of communication with the IO devices. Understand you all these terms? These are the basic components which computer needed, not ALU, not register. Because ALU, register are the components of the what? CPU. We will discuss later. Okay, we will discuss later all that. So, initially program stored where? Write down the next point. Initially program stored where? Initially program stored in the memory. Now we will see how it can store. Initially program stored in the memory. In the memory. Okay, so this is all about the basic. Now initially program stored in the memory. So now we are going to see the logical representation of the memory. Very simple. Now we are going to see what? The logical representation of the memory. How we can store the data or instruction inside the memory. Okay, so write down the fresh heading. Okay, write down a fresh heading, fresh topic, logical representation of memory. लॉजिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ मेमोरी। ओके, सो जैसा कि हम मेमोरी को देखते हैं, अगर हमने कह दिया 64 केबी की मेमोरी है, बट it is logically how we can represent logically 64 kb memory. So now we are going to see. Okay, so memory is what? Memory is equally divides. Memory, you can say that memory divides into equal number of parts. You can say that like this: memory divides into equal number of parts, and these parts are called what? Memory cells. These parts are called what? Memory cells. Listen me carefully first. Okay, then I will give you the time to denote, and I will give you that points also here which I am telling you. Okay, so listen me first. Memory divides into equal number of parts, and that parts are called what? Memory cells. First point. Second point is what? Every memory cell can able to do two function. Okay, every memory cell can perform two operation, not function. Every memory cell can perform two operation. First one is what? Read, and second one is what? Write. If you want to something put into memory, then read operation is sorry, write operation is required. If you want to fetch something from the memory, then we need which operation? Read operation is required. So this is a second point. And third point is what? Every memory cell has a unique address, or you can say that every memory cell has a unique number, and that unique number is called what? Memory cell address. And that unique number is called what? Memory cell address. Okay, so write down here. So first I am going to, suppose we have 64 kb memory. Suppose we have what? 64 kb memory. Okay, suppose we have 64 kb memory. Suppose we have 64 kb memory. Understand? So as I told you, memory divides into equal number of parts. Logically, memory divides into equal number of parts logically. Understand you all? Logically. So how we can learn the next things? Okay, so as I told you, every memory cell can able to perform two operation. First one is what? Read, and second one is what? Write. Okay, second one is what? Write. Understand? Okay, and every memory cell has what? A unique number. Every memory cell have a unique number, and that unique number is called what? Memory cell address. Memory cell address, and that unique number is called what? Memory cell address. Okay, okay, so now I am leaving it here. Okay, and the size of the every memory cell is what? 1 byte. The size of the every memory cell is what? 1 byte. Okay, every memory cell, how many bytes long? Only 1 byte long, means can store only 8 bit of information only at a time. Okay, every memory cell how many byte long? 1 byte long. Okay, every memory cell how many byte long? 1 byte long. Okay, so this is all about these are the memory cells. These are the memory cells, and here what we stored? Here we stored what? Instructions. INS instructions. Instructions and data. And data. We stored what into memory? Instructions and data. Okay. So make it first. We will give you the address later. I will give you the address later. Okay. This is a read operation, and this is a write operation. We will give you the address letter of each and every memory block. Oh, sorry, memory cell. Okay. So can I have this one? Here what we can store? We can store instruction and data into the memory. Okay, every memory cell have a unique number, or that unique number is called what? Memory cell address. Okay, and we can perform two operation. Every memory cell can perform two operation. First one is what? Read. Second one is what? Write. Okay, second one is what? Write. Second one is what? Write. Understand? So write down these things point by point. Memory divides into equal number of parts. Equal number of parts, and these parts are called memory cell. Memory cell. First point. Second point is what? Every memory cell can perform two operation. Can perform two operation. Read and write. Read and write. Okay, I will tell you the meaning of this bar later. When we will learn what control signals, then we can see what is the meaning of this bar. Okay, I will tell you later. Okay, third point is what? Every memory cell have a unique number. Every memory cell has a unique number. Okay, that is called what? That is called memory cell address. Memory cell address. Memory cell address. That is called what? Memory cell address. This is all about the basic. This is all about the logical representation of memory. So the very first question is what? The very natural question is what? Suppose we are going to fetch. Suppose we are going to fetch any instruction or data from the memory. Suppose we are going to fetch any instruction and data from the memory which is stored in the memory. Okay. So what we needed? What we needed? What we needed? What we needed? Okay. What we needed? Understand? So can I rub this one to tell you the next point? So if we want to fetch any instruction or data from the memory, then we required two things. Then we required what? Two things. First one, we required what? Control signals. First one, we required what? Control signal means which control signals will give you what? Control signal will give you which type of operation you want to perform on the data. Okay, if we want to fetch anything from the memory, then we required what? We require two things. First one is what? Control signal, and second one is what? Address. Okay, control signal tell you what type of operation you want to perform, and address field do what? Address field क्या करेगी? Address field enable a particular memory cell where the instruction or data is present. Where the instruction or data is present. Understanding this point? If we want to fetch any instruction or data from the memory, then we require two things. First one is what? Control signal, and second one is what? Address. Control signal will give you what type of operation you want to perform on the data, and address will do what? Address will enable the particular memory cell, okay, where the data or instruction is present in the memory, where the data or instruction set is present into the memory. Understand this point? Okay, so write down this point. If we want to fetch instruction or data from the memory, then we requires two things. we require two things: control signal and address. Control signal and address. Okay, control signal and what? Address. Okay, control signal will tell you, control signal will tells what types of operation you want to perform, what type of operation you want to perform. Okay, and address will tells what? Address will activate address field. Address will enable a particular memory cell where data or instruction is present. Where data or instruction is present. Instruction is present in the memory. In the memory. In the memory. Understand? In the memory. Okay. So this is all about, if you want to fetch any instruction or data from the memory, then we require two things. पहला क्या पता होना चाहिए हमें? control operation. Control signal means which types of operation you want to perform. Okay, and address will do what? Address enable the particular memory cell where the data is present. Where the data is present. Understand? So can I wrap this one? So after all that, suppose CPU is executing any program. Suppose CPU is executing any program, and in the program we have what? Instruction and as well as data. Okay. Suppose CPU is executing any program. Okay, and it requires some data or instructions. So what it will do? It will generate what? Memory request. I hope आपने सुना होगा memory request. CPU will generate what? Memory request. And in the memory request we have two things. हमारे पास दो चीजें होती हैं. पहला वही कंट्रोल सिग्नल होता है जिसको हम लोग ऑपकोड कहते हैं, और दूसरी फील्ड हमारी पास कौन सी होती है? एड्रेस होती है. दूसरी फील्ड हमारे पास कौन सी होती है? एड्रेस होती है. सो सपोज CPU is executing any program, and during the execution it needs data or instruction from the memory, then it will generate what? Memory request. It will generate what? Memory request. Okay, understand? So write down this point also. Okay, we are going in the sequential manner. Okay, suppose CPU is executing any program, and any program, then, and no need to write this, CPU is executing any program, then it will generate memory request to fetch instructions and to fetch instruction and data from the memory. Okay, so memory request contains what? Two things. Memory request, everything whatever we will do in the computer organization architecture, we will do in format. For everything we have a format. Here in computer organization and architecture subject, whatever we will do in a format. For everything we have a format. So memory request contain two things. First one is what? Opcode, you can say that, and second one is what? Address. Okay, so opcode is what? Mnemonic. So like here क्या present होगा, add sub like this, add sub divide like this. So this will give you what type of operation, type of operation. This will give you what type of operation. Opcode field will give opcode field of the memory request will give you what type of operation. Okay, and address will do what? Address, as I told you, okay, address will enable a particular memory cell where the data is present, where the data is present. It enables particular memory cell. It enables a particular memory cell. Okay, so this is the format of the memory request which CPU will generate during the execution of any program. Understanding? So these are the very sequential manner. Okay, so we will learn the things in very interesting way. So can I rub this one? So now we are going, now means how we can identify after the logical representation of memory, how we can identify how many address lines we need, how many address lines we need to activate a particular memory cell. कैसे पता चलेगा कि किसी पर्टिकुलर मेमोरी सेल को इनेबल करने के लिए, एक्टिवेट करने के लिए जहां पे डेटा प्रेजेंट है, कितने एड्रेस लाइंस की हमें जरूरत है, कितनी एड्रेस बिट की हमें जरूरत है. ओके, सो this will tell you what memory chip configuration, this will tell you what memory chip configuration means, how many number of address bit we need, how many number of address bits we need to enable a particular memory cell. It will depend on memory chip configuration, it will depend on memory chip configuration. Okay, memory request is not a control signal. Memory request is a format. CPU will generate what memory request in which it have two things. First one is what control signal. Control signal आपको बताएगा कि आपको डेटा, आपको जो डेटा फेच कर रहे हो, ओके, उस पर किस टाइप का ऑपरेशन आप परफॉर्म करने जा रहे हो. ओके, और एड्रेस फील्ड आपको क्या देगा, वेयर द डेटा इज प्रेजेंट इन द मेमोरी. अंडरस्टैंड? So write down a first topic, memory chip configuration. Memory chip configuration. Okay, so memory chip configuration will give you the idea how many address bits you require to enable a particular memory cell, to enable a what, to enable a particular memory cell. Okay, so write down this point, how many address bits we require to address bits, you can say that, or you can say that what address lines also, how many address bits or address lines, you can write this, or address lines we require to enable a particular memory cell. This will depend on memory chip configuration. मुझसे एक जगह क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया था DTU में कि कैसे डिसाइड करेंगे कि कितनी एड्रेस लाइन्स हमें चाहिए किसी पर्टिकुलर मेमोरी सेल को एनेबल करने के लिए, एक्टिवेट करने के लिए. So that's why I am giving you all these points. This will depends on memory chip configuration. Memory chip configuration. This will depend on memory chip configuration. Example is what? We have different memory chip configurations like this: 64 KB, 128 KB. Like this, we have various configurations: 256 KB, and so on and so on. So these are the memory chip configurations, and through the memory chip configurations we can understand only how many address lines we require to enable a particular memory cell where data is present. Okay, where data is present. So now I am going to take a one memory chip configuration. जो हमने वहां पे मेमोरी को जब लॉजिकल रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे थे वहां पे हमने कितना लिया था 64 KB लिया था. सो नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू अगेन टेक द 64 KB memory chip configuration, okay, and we are going to see how many address lines we required for a particular memory cell, okay, to enable it. Okay, so can I rub this one? Thank you. So can I rub this one? So now I am going to take a 64 KB memory chip configuration. 64 KB, okay. So how many address lines we have means this 64 KB divides into how many memory cells? As we know that memory divides into equal number of parts, and that parts are called what? Memory cells. So how we can know? And as I told you, every memory cell can store only 8 bit of information, means can store only 1 byte of information. Okay, very good. So this B is giving you what? This V is giving you what? Memory cell size. Memory cell size. Memory cell size means each memory cell can store only 1 byte of information, means can store only 8 bit of information. Can store only 8 bit of information. Understand? Okay. So how many memory cell is there? How many memory cell is there? Very simple. This 64 is nothing but what? 2 की power 6. 2 की power 6 will give you what? 64 into 1k. Into is what? 1k. And 1k equal to what? 1k equal to what? 2 की power 10. 1k equal to what? 2 की power 10. 1k equal to what? 2 की power 10. Okay. And 1 m equal to 2 की power 20. 1 g equal to 2 की power 30, like this. Okay. If you don't, 1 m equal to how much? 2 की power 20. 1 g equal to how much? 2 की power 30, and so on. We have various, we will see later. Okay, like this. So 1k equal to 2 की power 10 means 2 की power 10. Okay. So how many 2 की power 16 memory cells is there. 2 की power 16 memory cells is there. Okay, 2 की power 16 memory cells is there. Okay. And how many address lines we have here? Can anybody tell me how many address lines is there? How many address lines is there? Can anybody tell me? 16. Very good. 16 address lines is there. Address lines is there. 16 address lines is there. So what you can understand from here? यहाँ से आप क्या समझ सकते हो कि अगर हमें address lines पता हो, if we know the address lines, then we can know the capacity of the memory. Understand? If we know the address lines, then we can generate the capacity of the memory. Yes or not? Yes. So we will see later all that. So 16 address lines is there. Okay. And as I told you, so how many address lines we required for a particular memory? How many address lines we required to give a address for a memory cell? So how we can give the address of the 64 KB memory cells? Okay. So how we can 16 address lines we required? So 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. Okay. This is a binary representation because we required how many lines? 16 address lines. Okay. And we can go till where? 1 1 1 1 16 times 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So this is a binary representation of So this is not a feasible way. Because human mind cannot understand all that. cannot able to remember these so much of thing, okay, long thing. So we represents it into what? Hexadecimal format. We represents it into what? Hexadecimal format. So this whole things will give you what? This whole things will give you what in hexadecimal? 0. Okay, so 0. This whole thing will again give you what? 0. This whole thing again give you what? 0. This whole thing again give you what? 0. So इस तरीके से एड्रेस प्रोवाइड करते हैं हम अपने किसको? अपने मेमोरी सेल्स को. ओके, एंड हम लोग कहां तक जाएंगे? दिस होल थिंग्स विल गिव यू व्हाट? 15. एंड 15 इज नथिंग बट व्हाट? F in the hexadecimal. This whole things will give you what? F 15. This whole things will give you what? F 15. This whole things will give you what? F 15. Understand? Understand? So this is the representation of the, this is the address of the memory cells. Okay, so अब अभी आपको क्या करना है कि अपने पीछे वाले लॉजिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ मेमोरी वाले टॉपिक पे जाना है और मेमोरी सेल को, पहले वाले मेमोरी सेल को एड्रेस क्या दे दोगे? 0 0 0 0 एंड लास्ट वाले मेमोरी सेल को ऐसे एड्रेस दे देना F F F F. अंडरस्टैंड मैं क्या कह रहा हूं आपसे? यू ऑल अंडरस्टैंड? go to the logical representation of memory and give the address of the very first memory cell is what? 0 0 0 0 and it will go till where? The last memory cell can contain what address? F F F F. Understand you all? So आप सबने लिख लिया पीछे मेमोरी सेल का एड्रेस? सो मेमोरी सेल का एड्रेस लिख लिया आप सबने पीछे जाके उस टॉपिक में जाके? सो कैन आई रब दिस वन ऑल? So this V is here denoting what? This V is here denoting what? Memory cell size. As I told you, every memory cell can contain only 8 bit of information, means 1 byte of information. So what is the next thing? What is the next thing in the memory? So based on the memory cell size, address divides into two types. Based on the memory cell size, address divides into two types. First one is what? Byte addressable memory, and second one is what? Word addressable memory. Listen me carefully, these are the very important things, okay, and these things will make interesting that subject. Okay, so based on the memory cell size, address divides into two things. Address divides into two types. First one is what? Byte addressable memory, and second one is what? Word addressable memory. Okay, so what is byte addressable memory? When the memory cell size is always 8 bit, when the memory cell size is always 8 bit in the memory, then that type of memory is called what? Byte addressable memory. And what is word addressable memory? When the memory cell size depends on the word length of the processor. मतलब प्रोसेसर कितने वर्ड लेंथ का है, मतलब माइक्रो प्रोसेसर हमारा 16 बिट का है कि 32 बिट का है कि 8 बिट का है कि 64 बिट का है, इस पे डिपेंड करे अगर मेमोरी सेल की साइज. सो वो मेमोरी हमारी क्या होती है? वर्ड एड्रेसेबल होती है. क्या होती है वो मेमोरी हमारी? वर्ड एड्रेसेबल होती है. ओके, सो राइट डाउन द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट हेयर. ऐसे ही आप लोग पॉइंट बाई पॉइंट लिखते रहो इसी में, ठीक है? So write down the next point here. Based on the memory cell size, based on the memory cell size, we can divide memory into two types. We can divide memory into two types. First one is what? Byte addressable memory, and second one is what? Word addressable memory. वेरी सिंपल पॉइंट्स, आई होप कि आप सबको पता होगा. ओके, सो बेस्ड ऑन द मेमोरी सेल साइज, मेमोरी सेल का साइज अगर 8 बिट का ऑलवेज है, सो वो मेमोरी हमारी होती है वाइट एड्रेसेबल मेमोरी. और व्हेन द मेमोरी सेल साइज इज डिपेंड्स ऑन द वर्ड लेंथ ऑफ द प्रोसेसर, मींस हमारा जो प्रोसेसर है वो 16 बिट का है कि 32 बिट का है कि 64 बिट का है. ओके, अगर मेमोरी सेल का साइज उस पर डिपेंड कर रहा है, सो वो हमारी क्या होती है, वर्ड एड्रेसेबल मेमोरी होती है. अंडरस्टैंड यू ऑल? वो तो बेटा रब कर दी हमने, वो तो रब हो गई ना. ओके, so write down the first one, write down the first one. First one is what? Byte addressable memory. Byte addressable memory, byte addressable memory. Okay, byte addressable memory. When the, write down, when the memory cell size is always 8 bit, is always 8 bit, then it is called, 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 it is called what? It is called byte addressable memory, or you can say that it is called byte addressable. It is called what? Byte addressable when the memory cell size is always what? 8 bit. It is not depending on anything. It is not depending on the word length of the processor. It is not depending on the anything. You can say that like this. When the memory cell size is always what? 8 bit, then it is called what? Byte addressable. Okay. So can I rub this one? Subi, can I rub this one? And second one is what? Word addressable. Second one is called what? Word addressable. So as I told you, when the memory, जब memory cell का size हमारे word length of the processor पे depend करे, okay, okay, then it is called what? Word addressable. Suppose अगर हम 8 bit का माइक्रो प्रोसेसर यूज कर रहे हैं, सो मेमोरी सेल की लेंथ जो वर्ड मेमोरी सेल का जो वर्ड साइज होगा वो कितना होगा? 8 बिट. सपोज अगर हम 16 बिट का माइक्रो प्रोसेसर यूज कर रहे हैं, तो मेमोरी सेल का जो वर्ड लेंथ का साइज होगा वो कितना होगा? 16 बिट, लाइक दिस. Okay, like this. So when the memory cell size depends on word length of the processor, word length of the processor, then it is called word addressable. Then it is called what? Word addressable. Then it is called what? Word addressable. So you can understand like this. Suppose here I am getting what? Microprocessor. Okay, and here I am getting I am writing what? Byte addressable. So from here they ask a question. Okay, we will practice the question also. यहाँ से एक question आया competitive exam में. And here is what? Word addressable. Here is what? Word addressable. Suppose we are using what? 8-bit microprocessor. So as I told you, byte addressable पे कोई इफेक्ट नहीं पड़ेगा, because here memory cell size is always what? 8 bit. So ये 80 bit की रहेगी. और क्योंकि वर्ड लेंथ ऑफ द प्रोसेसर किस पे डिपेंड करेगी, हमारी वर्ड लेंथ ऑफ द प्रोसेसर, अगर हमारी मेमोरी वर्ड एड्रेसेबल है, सो मेमोरी सेल का साइज किस पे डिपेंड करेगा, हमारा माइक्रो प्रोसेसर वर्ड लेंथ ऑफ द प्रोसेसर पे। सो ये भी कितने बिट का हो जाएगा, आपके 8 बिट का। बट अगर हम लोग 16 बिट का माइक्रो प्रोसेसर यूज कर रहे हैं, 16 बिट का माइक्रो प्रोसेसर यूज कर रहे हैं, वर्ड लेंथ ऑफ द प्रोसेसर इज व्हाट, word length of the processor is what, like you are using a processor like this, 32 bit, 64 bit, like this. Okay, word length of the processor is what, means what is the size of the word length. Okay, so here is what, here it is what, 8 bit, because it is not going to depend on the word length of the processor, and it is what, 16 bit, because here memory cell size depends on the word length of the processor, and we are using what, 16 bit microprocessor. That's why the word size is what, 16 bit. Understand? Suppose we are going to use what, 32 bit microprocessor, 32 bit microprocessor, then what is the memory add, this is always 8 bit. I want to show that. Okay, this will become what, 32 bit, this will become what, 32 bit, and so on. Suppose if we are using n bit microprocessor, n bit microprocessor, okay, so it is always what, 8 bit, it will not depend on the word length of the processor, but it will depend on the word length of the processor. So then when we use n bit microprocessor, then what is the memory cell size in word, n bit, when the memory is word addressable, when the memory is what, word addressable. So what we can say that, what we can, question yahan se aaya tha, so what we can say that it is always what, 8 bit, it is not going to depend on the word length of the processor. Okay, so here ambiguity or unambiguity, reply me fast. When we are using byte addressable memory, so here ambiguity or unambiguity, unambiguity. Very good, Anu. Kumarendra, how ambi, okay, here unambiguity. Very good. यहां से क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था, यहां से क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था, ठीक है, बीएचईएल में क्वेश्चन है, वी विल सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन. दे आस्क्ड व्हेन वी आर यूजिंग व्हाट, वाइट एड्रेसेबल, देन इट इज व्हाट, अनएम्बिगुअस, ambiguous, okay, like this. So it is what, here is what, unambiguity. Because every time memory cell size is what, every time memory cell size is what, 8 bit, and here every time memory cell size is going to change, and it is because it is depending on the where, it is depending on the word length of the processor. Okay, so here is what, ambiguous, ambiguity. Understands you all, byte addressable and word addressable? If you have any doubt, then please ask. Okay, ambiguity is what, when every time you are getting different result. Okay, like this. So every time here memory cell size is going to be changed na. Okay, this is ambiguity. Ambiguity का मतलब है जब आपको आउटपुट डिफरेंट टाइम पे डिफरेंट मिल रहा हो, सेम ना मिल रहा हो. दिस इज ambiguity like this. Okay, understand you all? Understand, Suresh Chaudhary? Yeah, word addressable depends on the word length of the processor. That's why every time we are getting different memory cell size, that's why it is ambiguity. And byte addressable में क्या होता है कि memory cell का size always 8 bit होता है. तो कोई भी आप यहाँ पे unambiguity है, क्योंकि हर किसी को पता है कि every time memory cell का size 8 bit मिलना है. प्रोग्रामर को, हर किसी को पता है कि मेमोरी सेल का साइज हमेशा 8 बिट ही मिलना है, क्योंकि मेमोरी हमारी बाइट एड्रेसेबल है. तो कोई यहाँ पे कंफ्यूजन है ही नहीं. लेकिन यहाँ पे हमेशा वो कंफ्यूजन बना रहेगा, वो हमेशा चेक करेगा किसका, वर्ड लेंथ ऑफ द प्रोसेसर को. ओके, क्योंकि उसको पता है कि वो वर्ड लेंथ ऑफ द प्रोसेसर पे वर्ड एड्रेसेबल मेमोरी का साइज डिपेंड करेगा. अंडरस्टैंड यू ऑल? Yeah, byte addressable is not depends on anyone. So very simple concept, no need to be confused. Okay, Need to be remember, when the memory is byte addressable, then memory cell size is what? Always 1 byte or 8 bit. And when the memory is word addressable, then what? Memory cell size depends on the word length of the processor.
If you really like the video, please hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon for the latest updates. Thank you.